guys, so I have a brand new K-tuned AC and power steering eliminator kit, and I also have just an aftermarket OEM replacement alternator from AutoZone. I'm going to show you guys how to install this kit. All right, today I'm going to show you guys how I install the K-tuned AC and power steering eliminator kit. This is a really nice kit. This is the black kit. It comes with the black billet bracket, which is really nice. It's my first time actually seeing one ever. But I'm definitely digging it. All black. K-Tune always has great quality. We really love their stuff here, and I love installing it. So it comes with the adjustable pulley. You have to replace your alternator pulley as well. Upper bracket, lower bracket. Also comes with all the necessary hardware and the belt. So let's get this thing started. All right, I'm just gonna show you guys the general area where the alternator is gonna go. It's gonna sit right here. Down under the water pump housing, you're gonna have 2 mounting locations for the lower bracket, which that's what I'm gonna install first. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring the car up. All right, so I have my bracket, my spacer, and the screws. So screw, spacer behind the bracket. Go ahead and thread it in up here. I'm not gonna tighten it down all the way. I'm gonna leave some slack in it. Now for the other one, spacer behind the bracket, screw, thread it in, and now I can go ahead and tighten these down. And this is the lower alternator bracket. All right, so now I have my Allen. It's an 8mm. Go ahead and tighten these down. There you go, there's your lower bracket. All right, so I got the upper bracket and the M8 screw, which is gonna go here. I'm just gonna thread in this one here, because this one you have to actually install with the alternator. So I'm just gonna put this finger tight. Now I'm ready to install the K-Tune supplied pulley. Pretty simple to change out. All you need is an impact gun of some sort, whether electric or air, and a 22mm impact socket. And the trick that I do for this is, so I don't hurt my hand, because you don't want to just grab it and hold it, it might spin. So you have to be very careful. I'll just take a rag, wrap it around. Comes off really easy. Some of these pulleys, sometimes they pull right off. Sometimes they fight you a little bit. Just be careful when you're doing this. I'm being a little careless. You don't want to crack the alternator. So I basically just put a screwdriver in here and tapped on it lightly, and it came right off. So you can see the supplied pulley is a little bit smaller. Actually, you know what? For an extra precaution, red locking ain't hurt nobody. Take a little bit of red, just a tiny bit. Grab my rag. Hold on for dear life. There you go. Always make sure, for some odd reason, you never know, don't just tighten it and put it on the car. Just make sure it spins, no funky stuff going on. All right, now for step 4, it says you're gonna use the hex style bolt and the 13.5mm spacer. If you don't know which one that is, just go ahead and grab a set of calipers. You can see right there, 13.49, close enough. So we'll go ahead and use that. All right, you may need somebody to help you, would be nice. So basically this is gonna slide in here. That 13.5mm spacer is gonna go behind the alternator. So it's kind of tricky to get everything lined up if you're alone. Hopefully I don't drop this. If I do, I'm sure it'd make a great video. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to sneak. Now I gotta get it threaded in. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and let that dangle. All right, so for the lower bracket, there's 2 different options. I'm not really sure why. It may be depending on your alternator, whether it's a 24 or a 2.0 or your water pump housing. So basically just figure out the distance here. This is the bigger setup. So we're gonna go with that. Hardware, spacer, and then it also has nuts that go ahead and go to the back. All right, so I got both Allens in the bottom, 6mm Allen, 13mm wrench. We'll go ahead and tighten these down. Once I tighten these down, I can then tighten up the top ones, and then that's it for the lower stuff. Now we can move on to the upper portion, which is the adjustable pulley or tensioner. And don't forget to tighten the top hardware. This is a 13mm. Go ahead and tighten that. And then there's an Allen on the other side of that one, which is a 6mm. You can just tighten that up. All right, so now I'm ready to install this beautiful K-Tune piece. Look how great this thing looks. This is awesome. Like I said, this is my first time seeing one, and I love how the black looks. It just goes with everything else. Fuel rail, just everything. So it has this funky looking little Allen here. That's basically gonna go on the bottom. And then you also have a 10, I believe they said it was a 10mm. Yeah, definitely a 10mm spacer. And the upper. So the spacer is going to go on like so, and then we're just going to go ahead and bolt that on to the water pump housing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the lower hardware. Kind of thread it on and get it started. Got my spacer and the upper. Spacer is in between the bracket and the water pump housing. This stuff's really easy. I'm telling you, K-Tune is on a whole nother level. I'm not paid by them, I'm not sponsored by them. I just use their products very often, and it makes my life a lot easier and makes my work look that much better. So like I always do, shout out to K-Tune. If you need any type of swap parts, I would definitely check them out. Great group of guys. So the upper hardware is a 6mm, and then the lower is a 5. So I could go ahead and tighten these bad boys up. I'm not gonna go ham on tightening it yet. I want to snug up the bottom. I see a lot of people stripping these water pump housings out. This stuff doesn't need to be 100 foot-pounds. Use good judgment. It's nice and snug. I'll go back to the top of my 6mm Allen. Look at this. That's all you need. All right, so now I got my belt. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to route it through the top actually, just so you guys can get a better view of it. Hardest part, honestly, is around the water pump. All right, so the belt is on. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna lift up on this. Make sure that this bolt here is loose so you can adjust your belt. And then this is how you set tension. You don't wanna go too tight on this. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab an adjustable wrench. This being a brand new belt, they are gonna stretch, it's new. What I like to do is I'll set the tension to where I want it. You don't have to go crazy tight. That feels good. I like that right there. So what I'll do is I'll tighten this bolt. I'll drive the car for a little bit. If this is your personal car and you're gonna be driving it, check it in a week, check it in 2 weeks. Tighten it up if you need to, that's all. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up the 17. That's on the side of the pulley. See how easy that was to install? All right guys, well, that's a wrap for the install. Big shout out to K-Tune. This product is awesome. I love the black look of it. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.